Hello everyone, you're welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Real Estate. This is a platform where we motivate people and we talk about real estate. Today's topic is verification as an important process in property acquisition. Again, verification as an important process in property acquisition. In one of my episodes, I talked about um, acquisition of property and the various steps that are required to get that done. And today I will be talking about verification. But before I go to verification, I want to list them again so you can have an idea if you didn't watch that video. And I said there are stages in property acquisition. In that video, I mentioned 7, but today I've added one to it, known as possession. So here is the list. 1 is sourcing of the property, verification of the property, negotiation, payment, survey, documentation, and possession. So these are the various stages involved in property or land acquisition. So be guided. I've added one to it now. It is now 8, not 7. The last one is possession. After documentation, you want to move to site. You want to erect a fence to show that you are the owner of this land now, or you want to put up a structure to say that you are the owner of this land now. So possession is very, very key. Many people are unable to possess the land they bought because of one harassment or the other. So it is very key to know that possession is also one of the process of acquiring land. If you cannot move into site, if you cannot go into the land and do whatever you want to do, then the land is still not yours. So you must be free to go to the land and do whatever you want to do. So possession is very key as well. So take note of it. But today I'm not talking about possession. I'm looking at verification. Verification is very key in the sense that through verification you are able to know the status of the property of interest. It is very important. That is a guide. Verification enables you to know the status of the property of interest. Is this property, does it belong to this person? Does it belong to that person? Is this property, is this land, particularly land, is it under acquisition or free from acquisition? Is it CFO land, or is it out of acquisition? You want to know the status of the land itself or the property. And you want to also find out if there are existing disputes. You know, when there are disputes on land, people want to sell so as to transfer that burden to a third party. So if you happen to be somebody who has not done due diligence in verification, and you buy the property, you're not only buying the land or the building or the property, you are also buying the trouble together with the property. So you are not just buying one thing, you are buying many things, because the trouble can be very many. And there's a way the trouble will be so much that you will prefer to abandon the land and walk away. So you have to do proper verification. Yeah, proper verification. At Faustin Realty, we can do that for you. Proper verification. We can do that for you. You may be abroad, you may be in Nigeria, it may be anywhere. For as long as you have an interest in the land and you want a proper verification to be done for you, that can be done by Faustin Realty. Document checks for fake. So common issue. You have incomplete document or no document at all. You have people that they have fake document I'll call it Oluwole document, go and fake it, and they want to use it to sell property. We've seen that in 2 cases now, where we have people who do not own any right to a property and they want to sell it. Yeah, so it's very common. So don't say it cannot happen. Yes, it can happen to anybody. But one thing is, when you follow the right process and use the right people, you get the right result. So you may not be versed in that. If you have a property that you want a proper verification, consult the right people, and one of them is Faustin Realty. Incomplete documentation verification will enable you to establish if this document is established, is complete or is not complete. If it's not complete, why is it not complete? You understand? So you want to find out the original document. So these are the ways in which you verify a property. You want to be able to be sure that the document of that property is genuine, it's not fake. Another thing again, you want to establish the authentic owner of that land, or we call it authentic ownership of that land. We have seen situations where a brother will sell a land that is not his own just because the other brother is abroad and is not around. He takes the property and stone it. And when that one comes, a dispute has started. And you'll be there for as long as the court wants you to be there. So you need to do proper verification. And one of it is authentic ownership of that property. And you want to also check for government approved uses. And this is one area you will need a town planner for large projects. There are some land that government has earmarked as residential. There are some land government have earmarked as industrial or commercial. There are some land that have been earmarked for what we call agriculture. Whatever that land has been earmarked for, ensure that the land is able to meet your needs. So if you want to build an industry and it happens that the land you want to buy is strictly meant for residential, then you're looking for trouble. Because by the time the residents of that area, by the time you start production and the residents of that area start complaining of your waste, and they complain to government, you already have problem in your hands. And yeah, so you want to avoid any of these challenges around the property you want to acquire. So checking flooding is very important. Check for flooding susceptibility. And if you are buying a house, you want to check for structural defect. You understand? Some areas are susceptible to flooding, and you don't want your house or the house you're going to put up in that particular land to be a house that will be receiving flood, and that will become the home of flood. You want to look at the topography of the area to know if it suits what you want to put in that place. You don't want to build a house that after 2 years you can no longer live in, or when rain is falling you will relocate to another place. Then during dry season you will relocate again. Yeah, you don't have a home yet. So you need to be cautious of all of this. So verification is a holistic process that establishes the authenticity of the land in terms of ownership. It enables you to know the available document for that land, the status of the land, if there are existing disputes, and you want to also know if it has flooding issues, and what government what government has earmarked that area of land for. You want to be aware of that. Verification check will make you avoid demolition. It will make you avoid third-party claimants, collapse, scams, very, very common, and everything in between. Let me come again. Verification check will enable you to avoid demolition. You see people complaining, government want to demolish our area, government is coming with their bulldozer. Sometimes, in most cases, it is not the fault of the government. It's just that people are just not careful enough to do proper checks. Maybe because it's going to cost them a little more money and they don't want to part with the money. Then one day you will part with the entire building. Penny wise, pound foolish, guide so many people when they want to buy real estate and they end up losing all. Be guided. Third-party claimant, especially when documentation is in dispute, you have problem. You need to be sure that the authentic owner of that property is established. Collapse, you want to be sure that the kind of structure you're going to be putting there is not the one that after a few months or few years, after a few years, the property is sinking. You understand? So you want to know the type of soil in that area. You want to use soil tests to be sure that the kind of structure you want to be mounting there can withstand the load. The kind of land there can withstand the load. You want to know the load-bearing capacity of the soil in that area. And these are tests, scientific tests that will give you results to be able to tell you you can't do this in this land, or you can do this in this land, or if you must do this in this land, this is what you must do. Engineers, particularly civil and structural engineers, are trained in this area to provide professional advice in guiding people to know what exactly they should be doing. But some people are they think that people want to take, engineers want to take money away from them. They end up regretting in the end, and most time 10, 15 years down the line, they can no longer earn as much as they used to do. They can no longer make money, and the house they built that time is already sinking. It's already sinking, and they have problems. So avoid collapse. And if you want to avoid collapse, use civil engineers, use structural engineers. Let them advise you properly. It may cost you just a little more, but that a little more will save you a whole lot. Scams. Avoid scammers. Try to use companies of repute that will do proper due diligence when it comes to property verification. Use Realty for proper verification of your property. It will save you money. It doesn't cost much. Use any property company that will do a good job for you. It will not cost so much. It's better you part with a little and save your project, or you save the little and you lose the entire project. Penny wise, pound foolish. Let us avoid that in our decision. And anything in between, verification will help you find it out. Don't be in a hurry when it comes to a land. When it comes to buying property, it takes a process. And we also always advise clients to be patient, to ensure that a proper due diligence is done. Proper due diligence is done. So at the end of the day, the customer or the client is going home with a smiling face, knowing that a good job has been done. And this is one area where you have Nigerians in diaspora concerned about. This is exactly what they are looking for. People of integrity, people who are up to the task, who want to keep their name and their integrity intact. And they are available in Nigeria. But the problem is that people prefer quacks to do their job for them because
it will just take them that little that they would have part with to save them the whole. They don't want to commit to it, and they lose everything in the end. It's always a pathetic story when I hear things like this. So these are the various verification checks. Let me come over it again, go through it again. Talk about the status of the property. You want to know the status of the property. You want to know if there's an existing dispute on that property. You want to know the documents available on that property. You want to establish the rightful owner of the property. That is authentic ownership. You want to know what government plans are for that area. What has government earmarked that area for? Is it for residential, commercial, or agriculture? You want to be sure. You want to be sure that the area is not flood prone, and you want to be sure that you buying something that will not give you headache. Thank you very much. This is on verification as one of the processes that are required in the acquisition of property. Like I mentioned earlier, acquisition of property has 8 steps. One is the sourcing of the property, second is verification, third is negotiation, you have payment, you have survey, you have documentation, and finally is possession of the property. Okay, as an extension of verification, I will be talking about the various land titles in my next episode. It's called land titles. I'll be shedding light on the various titles of land, and it promises to be an exciting one. It's one that you cannot miss. I want you to watch that video. Land title is one of the steps in verification, and that is under documentation. So you want to be sure that whatever document is available, that document is genuine, and through establishing the title on the land will enable you know if you want to go ahead to purchase the land because that property is good to go, or it's a suspect. You don't want to put your money in because you're skeptical about the land because of the title. Thank you very much. God bless you as you listen to this, and I hope that you have learned one or two things here, and I want you to put them to practice. That is the importance of this information. Information enables us to take informed decision. And after listening to this kind of video and you still go to do the wrong thing, 10, 15 years down the line, you are being haunted by that decision. I don't think it's the best. Let us act because we have information in our hand. Let us take advantage of a moment like this to know what we should be doing when it comes to land and property. Thank you very much. God bless you, and have a wonderful time.